Is it hard to trap an animal?
To me, no. To some people, yes. Some are, don't put it this way. These animals are not stupid. They're smart. I had some occasions with beavers and raccoons and this, and you'd almost have to see it to believe it. I had a place where I set a trap with natural resource to catch a beaver that was blocking a culvert. And I put a trap at the mouth of the culvert. At that time, we could set in the culverts, close to the road. Now we're not allowed to set within 200 feet, 150 feet of a road. There's a big problem too down the road. But anyway, I set the trap. The next morning I went, the water was flooded, the culvert was blocked, and in my trap was a piece of wood, about 1.5 feet in length and 6 inches in diameter, stuck in the trap. So I took it out and threw it in the ditch outside, and I reset the trap and everything. I went the same day, next day, same stick was in my trap. I took the stick of wood and I walked across the road and I threw it into the woods. Done everything over. The next morning I went, the stick was still back in my trap. So I had to take the stick and throw it in the back of my truck and take it home. So he wouldn't, about a week after, I caught the beaver. I had another spot where I had snares for the beaver coming out where he was going to cut wood in the woods. And next morning I went, there was a stick in my snare. So I took the stick out, reset the snare. The next day, the next snare was sticking. I took it out, and the snare stayed there for about 2 weeks, nothing touched. But the beaver was still building the dam. And I tried to figure out how he was getting by. Then we had a little bit of snow on the ground. I went up the road after I passed. The beaver was going up the brook on the road, then he was crossing the road and going back into that grow wood where he was getting the wood out. Because he knew that it was a snare. So I said, I put a snare there, and same thing with a stick in it. So the only way I figured I could catch him was he was running across the road. And it was just an old road, there were a few cars going through. It was like I drove a piece of rebar into the edge of the road and put my snare on it. The next morning I had him, because he figured there was nothing there. He had a free run going across the road. And like I said, that was a beaver. I had a raccoon going into my live trap, and he'd go into the live trap, and he'd reach over the trap, over the pedal, and grab the food. So, anyway, I figured, okay, I'm going to fix you. So I turned around, and I put the food, and I put a piece of tin wood on top of it. So this way, you have to climb up to get it. I went the next morning, and he had took the piece of wood, tin wood, and he had leaned it up against the side of the trap, and ate all the bait. I had another one in a wire trap. He caught on what to do. He'd go to the wire trap and lean on it and tip the trap over. When the trap tipped the trap over, the trap would spring, would close, and he'd keep rolling the trap, and the food would fall in through the wire, and he'd be eating it behind him.
Some smart animals.
You want to believe it. People don't realize how smart. People said, I said, look at it this way. You get up in the morning and you're hungry. You go to the cupboard or the fridge. There's nothing there. You'll go to the grocery store and get your or a restaurant to get your food. Mm-hmm. A raccoon, he wakes up too and he's hungry. Where's he going? He's got no restaurant and he's got no pantry or a freezer to get his food. He's got to go out and he's got to get it. So when you stop and think, he's a heck of a lot smarter than you and I, because he can get food where we have to go to the store to get it. Mm-hmm. That's that's the thing there.
There you go. What do you do with the animals you trap?
Some of them, I trap, like, some I release. Now, raccoons, some I release. Skunks, I put a lot of them down. Because it's, once they start coming to a house, they're finding this food on a doorstep. This is they're not stupid. Why should I go and hunt all day in the woods when I go up to the house and get some food? And they're just going to be a pest. And when there's a lot of animals like this, it's not like they're going extinct or anything. They're overpopulated. You take quite a few out. Some you release. Mm-hmm. Now, doesn't matter what it is. If I get, lots of times, I go in and I get a nest, mother raccoon and the babies. if I get the mother and her baby, sometimes I can catch her and get the babies out of a house or an attic or somewhere. I will take the trap. I usually catch her, put her in the trap, and get the babies. Then we introduce them into a box, a trap. Then I'll take the trap and I go in the woods in the evening, and I will open the door up the trap. She will run in the woods. The babies are still in the trap. I just leave the trap there, and I come home, go back next morning. She has taken them, gone. The way I look at it, these little ones, little babies, give them a chance in life. Now, if I happen to catch some, I can't get the mother, and I get these little baby raccoons or beavers or whatever, and the mother I either with the mother. Sometimes, like I said, we had set traps and caught a couple of times happened. We had to get rid of these beavers on the road. Then we found out they had little ones. Take the little ones, I'll take them here, and I usually call Hope for Wildlife out of Halifax, and they come and they pick them up. So I always say, they're that small, give them a chance in life. Mm-hmm. Now raccoons, I'll take some home. Lots of time I'll look at them. Just take them in the back and I have to put them down. They got diseases. I've been around so I can tell when one is sick. Mm-hmm. The diseases are like injured or something like that. You put them down. Anything that looks healthy and it's not crawling, not too savage, you release it. So that's the kind of way you work it.
Okay.
Some people work it different. That's the way I do anyway.
Mm-hmm.